To my beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, Mbolo, my dear people, this is your queen, Ngningone II of the name, 17th generation crown queen of the Fangs and of the beautiful diasporan Africans, also known as the immortal, my people. Welcome back to Nubia, the path to return, the home of the African royals. Now, if you're watching me for the first time, Mbolo, my name is Queen Ngningone II. I'm the host here at Nubia, the path to return. If you like my vibe, stick around. I promise you, you will learn something. Okay, so welcome. My beautiful children, what are we talking about today? Today I'm launching the thought-provoking series, okay? I have noticed with the awakening of our people, some of our children are truly awakening. You could see the ancient wisdom speaking through them. And yet, of course, that group is in minority, and when they dare open up their mouth, they're met with usually a lot of adversity, not to say hatred. So in today's message, I will share 3 clips which I found to be thought-provoking, okay? So let's roll.
Black men, how white women are submissive to white men. Well, because the white man is the slave master. The rest of the people are the slaves. Why would I submit to a slave? I don't submit to no slave. I submit to my slave master, which is the white man. But I would never submit to no slave, which is the black man. You supposed to submit just like me. Why would I be submissive towards you when you got somebody you need to be submissive towards too?
I find it incredible how women will be in their late 20s or 30s and not.
Men get their masculinity, who they're trying to mimic. I'm going to say toxic men. Who they're trying to mimic is the slave master. They want to do and be exactly like the slave master. Ravish women, own them, right? Impregnate them so they can't go anywhere because, the slave master have your kids. What you going to do, run? You can't take your children with you. Look at the way these toxic men talk. They want to dominate, control, right? Subdue, right? Impregnate, right? They need women to be diminished to the point that they can control them. Understand, they want to control women like the slave master. Toxic men don't even understand why they cheat. Ain't got nothing to do with the woman. They learn that is something internally built into them. Why? Because the slave master used them as breeders. They are still operating under that slave master's command to be a breeder, to breed children into the world so that they can be slaves to capitalism. They say, I want my legacy. You want a legacy and can't even, you don't even have a trust fund for them to go to college. Make it make sense. They want you pot belly and pregnant. So you don't have nothing. And then they're going to talk about you being a single mother. I promise you this. And I want you to mark today. Them podcast guys that's degrading women like that, they're going to start dropping dead. Just watch. I said what I said. They're going to start dropping dead. But I want you to understand melanated dominant women. And if you have daughters, I need you to make sure your daughters ain't never on one of these podcasts with these demons, okay? They are doing exactly what the slave master do. Degrade the black woman down to the point that she is so degraded that she doesn't even appear human. So that what they do to her, just like they did in slavery, what they do to her is justifiable because she's not even human, okay? And I want you to understand, it is an agenda. It is agenda. Can you imagine that these men have podcasts and all they do is talk about women? Okay? As the great mother arises and the Abrahamic God falls, you're going to see more attacks on women. But I promise you, the attacks will not go unanswered. You're going to see Kevin Samuel, he's just the first one. You're going to see these podcast boys start dropping dead. They're going to start dropping dead. I promise you they are. But understand this, they're bullies, right? And why do I mean by that? They will turn around and say women are weaker than them, and then you pick on them. You talk about them. But mind you, you are never going to hear them talk about white men like they talk about black women. Why? Because they want to be white men. They want to be the slave master. When the woman get out of line, what they do? They want to fight them. They want to beat them. That's the same thing the slave master did. Please understand that as we as a community moved away from slavery, this new breed of degenerates are coming out looking at the white man as their example for their masculinity, right? Just like the slave master, he could not show any kindness to his slaves, lest he seemed like he is weak to his slave. That's exactly what men are doing. You know, a man show kindness to a woman, he a simp, okay? And this, what you hear in them, I want you to understand, is the removal of wisdom. They have no wisdom, right? Wisdom is the woman. They have no wisdom. And this is what happens when men are left to their own demise. But understand, they are absolutely teetotally jealous. Why? They have no education. They have no status in the world. All they can do is destroy. They have no power to create life. None. Why? Because the woman is life. We bring life. They bring death. And that is what they do. Think about it. The great mother we are the power of creation. In his rightful place, the male is the builder of that which I create. I am the architect. He is the carpenter. But what do men create when they are not connected to love? They create death. And I want you to understand, look at them. They absolutely, you can see them, you see them in our community. They have no love in them. And what is love? Love is the power to create life. It's the very essence of your soul. They have no love. Without love, they are not human. They are not human. They are anatomic beings possessed by the slave master spirit. And I want you to be aware of this so that you can stop your daughters, your nieces, to pandering to these men. And the thing of it is, it's so funny that men have not got that we don't need them, and nor do we want them. They are still talking about how we can get a man. Who in the fuck is trying to get a man? Who is trying to get the number one killer of black women? Who is trying to sleep with the enemy? We don't want no man. Let me tell you something. You can get a plumber. You know, a plumber comes over, clean out the pipes and go. But who is trying to get a man? And that's important for us to talk to our daughters about. Understand that Abrahamic religion is what taught them about supremacy. Now, mind you, they hate white supremacy, but turn around and want to be a slave master to black women. Black women, it is time for us to stand in our divinity. It's not even about not centering men. You need to act like these men are your natural enemy and govern yourself accordingly. This all men gonna protect. Look, that's some bullshit. And if you keep believing that, you keep being a victim to it. I love you, melanated dominant women, and have a good day.
If you're wondering why my content has kind of changed the last 2 or 3 days, watch this video and you'll see.
I think that what's happening in America as far as black men, black women is concerned is that there's a revolution within a revolution. We are fighting our own woman. Our woman will not allow us to emerge as black men. No. But our black women, who has been put in this role of aiding white America, white structure, and castrating the black male, has continued doing this. She cannot live with us. It's not that we can't live with her.
Are you blaming us? Are you saying that it's our fault that this happened?
No, I'm not blaming black America women. I just said that I'm blaming the system. They are victims of the system like the black male.
Well, why do you say that we are castrating you? You say that you want to be the leaders. Okay, well, what about the black professional woman? Are you saying that there should be no black professional woman? Are you trying to deny black women the right to be creative, the right to function?
We're not asking for you to take a back seat. We're saying that you have got to be astute enough and can view the situation situation well enough where you just automatically know what your role is and step back. And whenever you want to have that aggressive thing, this is the thing that the young black man today is not going to tolerate. My old man tolerated it because his old man tolerated it. It came up for years and years and years. But today, the young black man is not going to take it. He's going to be out there as a leader. White America has used black women to keep the black male in his place. And you're still aiding him by saying, well, we are qualified, we want to work, we can help.
So let's not focus on what was said, who's right or who's wrong. Let's focus on, if you notice one thing, that video was made in the 70s. Let's assume 1974. It is 2024. Black men are still talking about the exact same thing. So that's why I'm advocating for what I'm advocating now. That's why my content has gone this way, because we're just going to continue the same conversation. Our children will continue it. Our grandchildren will continue it. Our great-grandchildren will continue it. I don't care who's right, who's wrong. I don't care who started what, who didn't start what. I don't care who should lead and who should not. I don't care who should pay and who should not. What I'm saying now is we no longer belong to... Let's leave each other the fuck. We've been doing this. So I do not hate black women, and I hope black women do not hate me, but I hope that we will come to acknowledge that we are willing to give other people grace that we're not willing to give ourselves, and that we right now are not equipped for what's to come. There's something coming. It's less than 5 years away. We are not equipped for it. There's only two ways we can survive it: absolute total separation, or we come together. Coming together, we've seen that since the 70s. We've been trying. It's not going to happen. Total separation is the only thing. When what's to come comes, I need sisters, black women, if you genuinely feel that you will be safest with a group of Hispanic men, this is not malicious, go, because we are not equipped to survive what's to come. Y'all have been making videos for the last decade. I've seen articles, literal articles in the New York Times about this, about Italian men. If you feel that Italian men are... what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying, oh, go meet... No. I'm saying, what's to come, black women, you cannot survive it on your own. No group of women in this world can survive it on their own. And it's clear you're not willing to work with us. We are not willing to work with you. Go do you. You need another group of men to survive what's to come in the next 5 years. It's clear it's not going to be us. And this is what I'm trying to... So this energy has been acknowledged in Islam, in Christianity, in Judaism, where energy is something that everyone acknowledges. So one thing that everyone can acknowledge is it is literally impossible to put your energy in two places. You cannot split your energy. It is Islamically impossible. It is canonically Christianly impossible. It is Judaically impossible. Scientifically impossible. Theoretically impossible. Physically impossible. You cannot split your energy. You cannot put your energy in two places. And what has been happening is black men since the 40s have had their energy on their biological counterparts. That's why we haven't built anything. No, I am not blaming black women. I am blaming black men for putting our energy for 40 years, not realize what's 40? What's 40? 70, 80, 90s, 20s, 2010s, 2020s. There's a 50-year-old man walking around right now who was not born when that video was made. We're still dealing with the same things. So I'm blaming black men. 50 years later, we're still focused our energy on one thing instead of us to realize we need to take our energy and focus it on growth and self and build. This is why I advocate for what I advocate for. Not because I hate us. It's because we've been doing this for 50 years. 50 years. And we're not, unless we do something, we're fucked.
Beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, welcome to the launch of Thought Provoking series. Okay, so this is episode 1 of Thought Provoking series. Today's episode will be, should the African woman separate from the African man? Should the black man separate from the black woman? So the videos which I found to be thought-provoking, I've just shared. So in today's episode, we will address what I call the grievances of our daughters, because this is what these messages were to me. Their expression of their grievances and nothing else. So we will dive deep into it in episode 1. And in episode 2 will be about, should the African man separate from the African woman for his success, for his survival, and so on. So, okay, so let's start with the ladies. My dear children, as you could see, our princess, the first one, when she came out and said, people wonder why the white woman submit to the white man. Well, simply because the white man is the boss around. He's the slave master, and everybody else is a slave, including herself. She didn't say that, but that's what it means. She's like, come on now. Her man is the boss. He's the owner of everything. So she has no choice but submit. Okay, when we elders hear, when we listen to what is being said. So this is the goal of this series I'm going to start. Our children need to start learning to think like us, like Africans. Okay? Never take anything at face value. Put your emotions on the side. Listen to the message. Does it speak to your blood? Does it speak to your heart? Or you just want to jump and say something as offensive? So the princess said, of course, the white woman will submit to the white man, because, you know, he's the head chief around. So she has no choice. But when it comes to me, submitting to you, black man, it's out of question. Okay? And this is how she seriously feels. She said it's out of question. Forget about it, because you are as captive as I am. You have to submit to a fellow man. And when you're done bowing over there, you come here, want to be a king over me, over my dead body. Yes, you have to understand who we are. Not because they made of us slaves. Her blood has spoken. They made many of you slaves when you are descendant of the slain kings. What do you think? What do you think is going to run through her veins? But blood of rulership. Through her message, that many of you went after her and started bullying her online. As a matter of fact, the channel I downloaded this video from, the guy was putting her video on exhibition and inviting other sick, toxic man to come and bully her and harass her. When I tell you, we know our people. When we look at you, we know why you say the things you say. We know why you feel the way you feel. So let nobody go and harass my princess. Because yes, when you have royalty in your blood, first of all, you're a king yourself. You're not supposed to bow. When life circumstances put you in a position where you have to bow, you're going to start cutting the stairs. You want to go to the master himself. That's going to be the royal. He won't put up with other ones of us coming and try to tell them when we still have a big battle ahead of us. The battle, the fight, the war for our real freedom. So yes, she said absolutely not. And who are you to crucify her for that? First of all, her blood, her DNA tells her that where she comes from, she's powerful, she's important. She gives the right to rule. A king needs her to be crowned. She's not about to bow to a conquered king. It's not going to happen. Either we lost our throne, both of us are slaves, and don't bother me until you figure out a way out of here, or leave me alone. What I got from her message was, black men, African men, claim your thrones. or forget about us. That was her message. We are not going to be wise. We are not going to be submissive. We are not going to bow to you. We are not going to do none of that. We are not going to dress you with any honor when you haven't done anything honorable. For us, we are still slaves. We are still being trafficked. We are still being raped. We are still going through all this, and you next to us while as we're going through that abuse. What kind of glory, what kind of respect, what kind of crown do you want me to put over your head? If you ever wonder why it has been a war strategy against our people to break up our families, because the families are the foundation of every community. If you scatter the family, you have scattered that community. We're pretty much done as a people. So you have to understand the tricks of the enemy. So if the enemy want to see us divided, we should be fools to serve it up on a plate and give it just to him. We can't do that. So our princess, she came and said, listen, don't bother me. Don't get on my nerves. Don't ask me for jack, as long as we are still slaves. And by the way, respect each other. Not because we were made slave that all of us are the same. All of us are not the same. And the proof is in the pudding. Some of you act just like your brain has been completely smashed out. And other ones of you, when you open the mouth, you hear the old Africans speaking wisdom through them. You are not all the same. Some of you come from covenanted bloodline. Those have a job to do. So we're going to start training ourselves to start thinking, to recover the mind the colonizers, the enslavers stole from us. African men and women, we think and speak with wisdom. So when someone, a little girl come and say such shocking thing, take a step back, say, oh, mama, I'm really sorry you feel this way. Take a closer look. These are grievances. This is a coded call of despair, because I can tell you this. She says she will submit to the white man. It's a lie. If she didn't submit to her father, she won't submit to any man for that matter. She's going to be around the white man. She's going to be in check around the white man because she knows how quickly he can take people out. But it doesn't mean that she will revere him as her king like she would to an African man. Learn to read between the lines, okay? This was a very powerful message. This is a cry of despair. This is an SOS. I know they go around, they even nickname her villain. They bully her on her looks. Do you know who she is? Do you know where she comes from? Do you know the powerful ancestry behind her? For a small kid of that size and age to formulate such a powerful message, you gotta know what kind of ancestry you have talking to you. When I look at her, I can put a last name on her. She definitely looks like a child of Keita. She looks like a child of Ouedraogo or a child of Touré. These powerful bloodlines in West Africa. So we need to stop being bullies out there. Let those of us with a brain, with sense, speak, okay? So all of us could hide behind them and not look so and sound so stupid.
Ale